Today, we're going to be testing out Gemini CLI, which has a bunch of new updates, including extensions. And we're going to get straight into this. So you can see it's running on my terminal right here. I'm not very technical, to be honest, with terminals, and I don't really like CLIs, but we're going to test this out because it's got a bunch of new updates inside Gemini. This is like a free coding agent. You can see we're just logging in the background with our Google account to start using this. And then you can actually start coding with it for free. Now, once you've done that, you can actually type in a command and then you can plug in your prompts, just kind of like you would on Gemini Chat. But the difference here is that you can code for free locally, and it's kind of like a coding agent that lives in your terminal here on your laptop, right? So, for example, here we could say, right, okay, build me a small website, landing page from SEO agency, and then it's going to start building this out. And you can see we can choose between like these different options. It's going to ask us if we allow these changes. So I'm going to click yes always. This is the first time I'm running it on this particular Mac Mini, so we'll see how it goes. It might ask me to allow some of the permissions, and then you can see it's beginning to start inputting right here. Now, if you ever get stuck with any of this, or you're stuck on the setup or anything like that, what you can do is just screenshot this. And if you screenshot your terminal, and then you go to something like Claude, you can actually ask Claude for help on this. So what I've actually done is I've got Claude on the left-hand side to help me set this up, and then Gemini CLI on the right-hand side as well. Again, I'm not like a technical person, so I'm just sort of playing around with this. And then we're going to hit one. And you can see it's beginning to set this up. Now we're logged in. Then you can press Control and F to focus, like that. And then press yes to proceed. So you can see here it says need to install the following packages. And now we're installing the dependencies on the terminal. I'm just going to run you through like the basics of how to use this. So for example, wait for this to load. And then it's beginning the build process over here. Now you can see in this section, we could type in what we want. So if we say like create a basic website in HTML, as you can see, it's beginning to do that magic, beginning to style all the website, etc. And then we'll say open that up. And now we have our website created, right? So it's opened that up in the default web browser. So that's like the basics of using Gemini. You can see here with Gemini CLI, I'm no expert at this at all, but basically we've got the files written. And then if we say open it up, it will actually open up the file. So let me show you what I mean. There we go. We've got the awesome website set up right there. Now, obviously, like that's the basics of running this, how to set it up, how to use the command line, and just type in your message. So you can basically like code just by typing in a basic message over here. Honestly, I prefer using AI Studio. It's a lot easier, but I think once you're getting used to it, it's pretty simple. A pair says, what does CLI stand for? command line interference. So it's just a way of coding in your terminal to create basic stuff. So let's go back to the terminal now. As you can see. And it's open up the HTML. Obviously, the HTML website that we built was super basic, right? So now what we want to do is just create something a lot nicer. So say, okay, create a beautiful modern landing page from SEO agency. Write the copy, Alex style. Keep it clean, modern, and send traffic to this landing page right here. I'll zoom in for you there so you can see it a bit easier. This is formulating the to-do list, beginning to build that out. And it's actually done a Google search, so search the web for Alex Hormozi. So Gemini CLI is connected to the web as well. So you can build websites and also search for stuff at the same time. It will do that automatically based on the task you give it. So it's now building the landing page structure. And you can see it's completed 5 out of 6 tasks on the page. And the page is now open in our browser to review. So if we go back over here now, you can see the page that we've got right here. So it's written all the copy. Obviously, the page itself is not like, there's no real nice design in there or anything like that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to, I'll put that on the left, put that on the right. I'm going to go back over to Claude. And we'll say inside Claude, okay, let's make the page plus design plus content, etc. much more interesting, engaging, and turn it into a real SEO agency website. Give me a prompt, etc. It's quite interesting to play around with this because usually, like, you know, when you're using a UI, it's just so much easier. But I want to master this process of using Gemini CLI. So you can see here, we're getting a much more in-depth prompt. This is a good way to use it. I think it's just like screenshot what you get in the terminal, ask Claude to fix it and give you some prompts. And then you get a feel for like how to use Gemini CLI, how to prompt it, etc., without wasting loads of time going back and forth. And also you can ask Claude as well to just explain it to you and help you understand how to use it properly. So I'm going to paste in that message now. And that should start rebuilding the website based on that new structure. So it said, this is a big project. I'm going to use write to-dos to break down this into a high converting website, etc. I'm going to hit allow always. And it's beginning to create the CSS now so that the design will be much nicer. Now, bear in mind, we've gone from this, which is like super basic design, to this, which has a lot of copy and a CTA, but obviously it's not that great. It does link to our CTA file, which is good, but we want to keep improving that. So you can see it's building out all the code right now. And it's on task 1 out of 12. So it's building the hero section with the specified elements. Now, I think because it's connected to the internet as well, you could say like, okay, do this for Julian Goldie's agency or whatever your brand is, right? And then it'll actually search the web and find details for you. And again, this is free to use. You can add a custom API if you want to, and then you get charged. But if you just want to use a free version, this is how you can do it. And normally you would run this in like an actual project specific directory. It's just because I'm doing this on the fly and I'm doing this on the live stream. So I'm trying to go a lot faster than you would normally. But I think this is good to see as well, because now you can see, okay, you can learn how to use this stuff on the fly. You can pick it up pretty quickly. Once you get your head around the first setup and everything else, it gets a lot easier. And I'll show you how to build some tools and stuff as well in a second. I like the fact as well that it just plans out the project for you. It's kind of like using, it's a little bit like using Visual Studio Code or something like that, but the difference is like you've got it all in one terminal. You don't have all the project files and that sort of thing. So you can use anti-gravity as well, which is another tool by Google for doing this stuff. Honestly, I prefer the setup of Google Anti-Gravity or Visual Studio Code. Those tend to be easier to use, but I think it's just about getting your head around these things when you're first using it. So whilst that's coding in the background, let's look at the differences between using something like Gemini CLI versus AI Studio, right? So Gemini CLI is the terminal tool. And by the way, this is a new website that we've got. So you can see we're gradually making progress on this. Um, if we look at the progress, right? So we started off with this, which was terrible. Then we got this, and the copy's not bad to be fair, but obviously it's way too basic. And now we've got this, right? So you can see how quickly you can build out a nicely designed website. As you can see, you just want to start adding some images in here, but the actual content itself is nice. And then this will send traffic to it wherever you send it to, wherever you want to send it to, right? And so the better your prompt is, the better the outputs. And obviously, it takes a bit longer to create something more complex like this than it does from this and this. But you can start to build this out, and it's beginning to look a lot better, right? As you can see. So now what we can do is we can go back inside the message here, and we say, right, okay, let's open this up. So I'm going to copy that. This is a new design from Gemini CLI. Then we'll go back to Claude, open up a new tab here. And say, give me a prompt to improve the design of this page using Gemini CLI. And add images plus videos of me / my website. We'll say, get the AI to search the web. Images, YouTube videos, etc. that we can use on the page design. Also, let's use our brand colors. Now just plug in my brand colors here. And I'll say add any extra improvements we should make. Yara Paula says you can use it in Cursor. I might have to try that. And then Leonardo says, when can I set up a schedule with you? So if you go to juliangoldie.com, you can book in a call with our agency that way, or you can join the AI Profit Boardroom. And then inside the AI Profit Boardroom, you can connect with me personally. And so we have coaching calls inside the AI Profit Boardroom, and then you can just jump on those, just check out the calendar. So we've got that prompt now from Claude over here, like you can see. Then we're going to go back into the message here, type that in. It's summoning the cloud of wisdom. And then we're beginning to use this, right? So it's analyzing the scope, structuring the project, etc. It says first I'll gather assets, so images, videos, testimonials, and logos, which is beginning to do now. So it's commencing a media search, and it's using web fetch to do this. And you can see the search it's making, right? So if we open this up, it said find all images and URLs on the website Julian Goldie and then list them. Taking a little while that. In the meantime, what we can do whilst it's completing that task is we can go back and compare the differences between these tools, right? So again, Gemini CLI, you use it in your terminal. AI Studio, you use it at a website, right? So if you just want to get an actual UI for using this stuff, I would recommend you just go with AI Studio. We actually have a lot of training inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So if you want to learn how to use Gemini CLI, you can see we've got a bunch of trainers right here, along with Trey CLI as well, which is another sort of alternative to it. And then if you prefer to learn something like AI Studio, which I would say is much easier for a beginner, then you can type in AI Studio inside the AI Profit Boardroom, and you'll see all these video trainers here. So these are all video tutorials with step-by-step processes you can steal. So let's compare them side by side, all right? So the good things about Gemini CLI is it works right where you code. You can read all your project files. It can run commands for you, create websites and apps, fast to use, and you get a lot of free requests, right? So you get 1,000 versus 100 free requests, apparently. I'm not sure if that's right. I would just double check that number. And then AI Studio, you can visit in at the actual website. You get a nice UI. It is pretty easy to integrate apps and APIs inside there as well, so you can see all this stuff that I've built. And you can test different AI models easily. I would say this is a much better option. So AI Studio is a better option for beginners, and you can save your prompts, and also it works on any device, right? The CLI is pretty hard to learn. You have to install it. You kind of need to know some terminal commands, and the setup takes a bit of time, as you can see today, right? And this depends how fast your laptop is as well. So it's beginning to do a media search right now. But this CLI, Gemini CLI, is a lot harder to use than AI Studio. So now it's beginning to use a Google search instead. It is struggling to find images, actually. This is interesting. I think what you could otherwise do is just like type in the videos that you want to embed in the images. We might do that in a second. Have you tried the Gemini Gems? I think they do a better job to start a design. Do you mean inside the Gemini app? If so, yeah, it's not bad. Leonardo, let me just put the link inside here. In fact, the link is pinned at the top of this live stream. So if you want to check it out, otherwise just go to aiprofitboardroom.com and then you can get access to it. I started Gems and then move it to Studio, and from Studio I create a Git. Interesting. This is really struggling to find images and videos, actually. Look at that. Taking 4 minutes. I'm going to go back to Claude to see what's a better way to create these. So copy that. And cancel the request. You can cancel it by pressing escape and then just go back to typing the message. So let's copy that. See if that works. I wonder if I can just grab. Oh, there we go. I wonder if I can just grab a video and then see if it can embed that instead. So I'm going to copy video URL here. Right, that seemed to work. Hero Gamer says, wait, you're a real person? I am indeed. I am actually a real person. I do human videos every day on YouTube. I don't know. A lot of people don't realize this, but I actually do YouTube videos daily on YouTube. So if you go to live here on YouTube, you can see all these live streams that I do daily. So for example, yesterday was DeepSeek and then Google AI SEO, etc. So that's beginning to code out now. Nice, open up. Here we go. Still got an error on that page, but look, I mean, the design is much nicer than it was, right? It's just like it's not embedding those videos properly. So what I might do is just get the embed code in a second and also a list of videos. So let's try this instead. I'm going to grab some SEO videos from our website. Let's copy the embed code. See what else we got here. Grab a couple of videos there. There we go. All right, so we've got some videos to use, and then we grab some images. I just go into my website and grab some that we can install. So I'm going to label these as well for the AI. So for example, like logo, videos to use. What else we got here? Link building mastery book. And then I think I do have a list of funnels as well. Let's grab some of these testimonials. Here we go. And then let's grab an image of me. Let's see if it can deal with this. Right, use this media to improve the design. Copy that. Then we'll go back to terminal here, plug that in, see if it can deal with that. Hopefully that works. If it doesn't work, then what are we doing here? So it's replacing the assets now, beginning to insert them inside the content. So you can see here, for example, Julian Goldie headshot, etc. It's using the images from my website. That looks like it's getting there. You can see the embeds here. We'll see. I'm not keeping my hopes up. And there we go. So we got the new version now. That's better. It's still messed up. I suppose you need to insert like media logo yourself, right? To use those. You can see it's embedded the video testimonials. Then we've got the headshot of me, the copy, etc. We want to make sure that it funnels any traffic to these. For some reason, it really struggles with embedding YouTube videos, which is weird. And then you would just need to give it like ideas on the client logos and stuff. So I'm going to say, okay, remove the YouTube video embeds, remove the client logos and media logos placeholders. We're beginning to get there though. And then I'm going to say the only CTA should be to book in a free SEO strategy session. To this page. I don't like the way it's like the promises it's making here are crazy. We'll change those in a minute as well. But we're getting there. We're getting there. That's what I would say. I mean, like, look at the progress we've made. We've gone from that to that to this to this. So we're getting there. It's making progress gradually. By the way, if you haven't already installed this, you can get it from GitHub, so it is free to use, which is one of the biggest benefits of using this. I know a lot of people like free stuff that watch this channel. And again, you can use a Gemini API as well. But you can use the free tier. You get 1,000 requests per day, which is pretty good. And you also get Gemini 2.5 Pro with 1 million context. And then if we have a look here, it's got the CTA button, and that is linking directly to this page, which is great. It's actually included our live YouTube subscribe account, which is awesome as well. And then we've got the testimonials embedded and the full landing page right there. I think that would probably convert pretty well. This button as well links directly to our strategy session. And we've got the UTM at the top, so we can track where it came from. You can just change that to like Gemini CLI or landing page or whatever you want to track it on your CRM. At the bottom, we have these links to social media. They don't work. But again, I think you just basically have to spoon feed and tell Gemini exactly where to link, what to embed, etc. If you leave it to its own devices, you end up with something like this, which is pretty terrible. Let's see what we got. Love all the content I see on X. Super awesome. Thank you, Hero Gamer. I run an AI guild. Would love to have you sometimes on our community live stream. That'd be cool. Gemini 3 would give you much better design prompts. That's interesting. Let's see what we got here. Let's try that. We'll see if we'll get better design prompts. So I'm going to go back over to Gemini now. I'm not going on Twitter. I don't know why. Let's go on Gemini. Here we go. All right, so we've got Gemini over here. All right, and then I'm going to say, okay, Gemini CLI, give me some design prompts to improve my landing page. Go to the agency, and then let's test this out. We'll see if it's good or not. It's going to take. That's weird. When I log out, when I zoom out, it doesn't look very good. I'm going to take that, plug the HTML into Gemini. See if it can work with that. So basically, just to recap there, I've said for Gemini CLI, give me some design prompts to improve my landing page for June Goldie SEO agency, and then plugged in the HTML that Gemini CLI has created so far. It's working on that so far. And we're using Gemini 3.3 Pro to do this, so the thinking mode. As you can see, and say, can I just have a you just use this, give me the full prompt to use. Let's see what we get back here. All right, so it's given us this is interesting the way it's prompted this actually. So it says act as a senior UX designer and front-end developer. Let me pull up the full prompt here. I'm going to copy that because you can't see the full prompt here. Let's have a look what prompt he's given us. So act as a senior UI designer and front-end developer. Want you to upgrade the HTML, CSS, etc. Please modify this, improve this, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what we get back from that. So I'm going to copy this, plug it in. If you want to get prompts and stuff for this stuff as well, go to the AI Profit Board and shows you exactly how to install this, as you can see, so the setup and everything else. Some example prompts. And if you want to use this prompt from Gemini and try it out yourself, I'll plug it in right there. There you go. All right, so you can see the full prompt there. Now it's beginning to code out on the right-hand side. The evolution is pretty good, though. I mean, this is version 5 that we're on now. Compare it to this. So it is gradually improving, but it takes about, as you can see today, what, 30 minutes to do? So let's test this out, JP, and see how it does. Beginning to implement this. Be interesting to compare these side by side. So this, if we actually compare these side by side, right? So we got the version from Claude Opus on the left-hand side. So this is Claude Opus's design, just this top banner, as you can see. I can actually show you another one that's done over here as well. So this is another design by Claude Opus. It's pretty nice, like the way it's designed, super clean on the left-hand side over here. Compare that to Gemini CLI. It's not far off, to be fair. It does create like a really nice landing page. There's just a few tweaks here that I can see that would need to improve massively, but honestly, side by side, they're not bad at all. So now we've got version 6. And we're beginning to have something that actually looks like a decent website now. You see here, it's got like CTAs, a sticky CTA at the top. Nice design. It looks a lot more modern than my existing website, to be fair. It's got the CTAs, it's written all the copy, automated the design, and we just did it all for free. It's even included the book preview over here, the picture of me, common FAQs, and then a contact form at the bottom. So we went from like this to that, to this, to that. And even like this version is much, much nicer than this one. So I'd recommend, yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good approach, JP. Like, just take the HTML that you've got from Gemini CLI if you're not happy with it. Go into Gemini, ask for a new prompt, and then it will give you a full prompt here that you can use to improve the whole page. And then you get something that's 10 times nicer, right? So if we now take this new HTML and say, okay, can you improve the page more? Let's see what else we can do here. More realistic copy, e.g. only state the facts and tell the truth, but keep it direct response. What else can we improve here? I would like to add like some sort of tool here, maybe an SEO calculator. Create plus embed an SEO calculator in the page. What else could we do? I think you want to add the final tweaks, right? So for example, make sure the FAQ drop-down box actually works. Remove the contact form. Made the page even more modern. That's interesting. And we'll say add more social proof. That's in, yeah, adding more social proof, e.g. Let's have a look here. So if we go back to the about page, I'll try and take the social proof from this page. And we'll see if we can get this right. You literally have to tell it to create a market-ready website. That's interesting. Use my prompt generator. Where's your prompt generator? Send it in the chat if you want. We'll take a look. Jason said, spend more time preparing my prompts with AI now. A well-made prompt with a plan and checklist can make a much better outcome with a single refined prompt. I'm sure that's the next project, the prompt creator. Yeah, I think actually having a prompt creator for this will be really, really good. Maybe like a Gemini gem that you can use, and then you can prompt the CLI later using that, and it's just ready to go. So we'll copy that code. And it's given us some testimonials to insert, facts to display, source text, and then improvements on copywriting, new features for the calculator, conversion rate optimization, and then design and technical tweaks. So let's copy that, go back to terminal here, paste that in. I think we're gradually getting the hang of it, but number two, it's gradually looking better and better every time you use it. So, I mean, the improvements across each design are pretty big. It's creating the testimonial section here. Whilst waiting for that as well, if you didn't know already, there's actually some. I mean, number one, there's a ton of notes on this stuff if you want to learn this stuff. But there's actually an extensions option as well. So you can actually link this to your favorite tools and kind of personalize the AI powered command line. So you see here, you get 192 extensions inside Gemini. So for example, like the MCP servers that you can insert, GitHub, of course, Context 7, which is pretty good. So that will have like the up-to-date code docs for any prompts. Top of that, what else we got here that we could use? Stripe integrates with it, which I think would be super useful. We'll come back to that second. And this is the new design. So this is version 7. As you can see, this has added more social proof. We've got the logo at the top, the CTA, the picture of me. The copy is a lot more realistic now as well. This is actually true. And then you can see it's linking to book a free SEO strategy session. It's inserted the testimonials as requested. So it's added a lot more social proof. And we've got the calculator over here. So let's try this out. Calculator actually works. So it's embedded that nicely. Then it's added details on the SEO services to book in a call. And that page is pretty much ready. The FAQs still don't work, but you can see that. I mean, you could launch that and probably send traffic to it, and you would probably get some bookings. I wouldn't say it's optimized fully, but you can see how it works. And then it's all mobile ready as well. So you can see as we scroll down here. Let me just reset the view on that. Yeah, it's all mobile optimized as well, automatically. It's messed up the mobile optimization, I think, on the calculator. So you see that it's quite messy, that bit. But everything else is looking good. So that was really easy to learn and set up. We literally went from the world's most basic website from 1995 to building out something way better, as you can see right here. And then you'd be pretty much good to go to launch that. So you see how you use it. I would recommend using Gemini. I think that's a game changer. Thanks to JP for recommending that. That definitely made things like 10 times easier. And you get these really nice prompts. If you want to get that last prompt that I talked about, just go to the AI Profit Boardroom and then go down to SOP updates, December, Gemini, and you'll find the prompts over here. But yeah, that was really cool. And again, you can use that for free. You can code inside your terminal. Even if you're not techie like me, you can see how easy that was. And yeah, super simple. And then you can just take the HTML and host it on something like Netlify, for example, and take that like so. I'll send the link on the chat. And the gems are in the left-hand side bar, sending the private chat. Okay. So yeah, we're pretty much good to go on that. We built a full website using Gemini CLI. You see how easy it is to learn. Didn't take long at all. We actually created something that was pretty nice in the end. And you can use a combination of Claude Code or Gemini to just help you out if you're struggling with that stuff. I think that's one of the best ways to learn it. Again, I do think the AI Studio and just using Gemini in general is a lot easier. But the more that you understand Gemini CLI, the better you get, right? You just get more reps. So, Thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all the notes from today, you can get this inside the AI Profit Boardroom. The community actually has a 20% off deal right now. So if you sign up, you'll lock in a 20% off discount forever. You can see inside the community, you can connect with 1,800 members and just ask any questions you have. You see all the people winning as well. So, if you're learning how to do this stuff, everyone is. Like, this is such a new technology. But you can see here, for example, like Justin created his first AI avatar video. Steve Light was learning how to use stable diffusion. What else we got here? We got Mulo, who smashed it with Google Opal. Vladimir created a voice notes Chrome extension. These are all members inside the AI Profit Boardroom that you can connect with. And we just share and grow and share what we learn together as well. It's a really supportive community where you can post any questions, get help, connect with people. You can also type in at the top here, like if you're an SEO, for example, you could type in SEO and then you can connect with all of these different members, drop them a message in the chat and get help that way. If you want to learn more about CLI, then just type in CLI at the top in the search bar. You'll see all these trainings right here. And also what we do inside the AI Profit Boardroom, I know, for example, someone was asking before about Leonardo was asking about how to jump on calls. So we have 4 coaching calls a week where you can jump on these live calls, ask questions, listen to the community, get help from the coach who runs it, and also connect with everyone else. And additionally, get all of these different trainings right here, all these different playbooks and everything else that I use. So feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching today. And what was the outcome? The outcome was a good website, as I showed you. So we ran through the website and I showed you how it worked and everything else. Jason says, just built an app using Gemini, then switched to anti-gravity. Then about 50% ran out of credit, then switched to Claude Code, then ran out of credit again, then switched to Kilo with Grok. That is the game. Congrats. Thank you very much. Do you review the projects of the AI Profit Board members? Yeah, so if you post your projects inside the community, what we do is we give you feedback, right? So if you type in feedback here, for example, you can post your projects and then get feedback like so. Same with this, right? So for example, Eric was asking for feedback here and we all gave him feedback. So you can see I personally comment on these posts and give people feedback as well. So you can get community project reviews like that. That's the best way to do it. And yeah, you see exactly how this stuff works. So everything I just showed you, that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. On top of that, if you sign up, you get access to every course, every framework, every workflow that I've built. And I've spent, the last few years really building new systems and helping solopreneurs automate their business with AI. I've spent thousands of hours testing tools, building systems, figuring out what actually works. So you can get all of that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. This covers like Gemini, AI Studio, Gemini CLI, Notebook LM. It gives you step-by-step training on how to use these tools for actual business operations, right? It's real implementations you can build this week. So for example, like if you go out to the AI Profit Boardroom here, you go inside the classroom, all the automations that I personally use every single day in my business are inside here, and you can just start using them inside yours, right? So for example, X automation, newsletter automation, shorts, AI avatar videos. You probably see those every day if you follow me on any social media platform. So feel free to get all this stuff inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well. Yeah, that's why I uploaded it to Git, and then you work on it from any other agent or coder. Ah, that's smart. Yeah, that makes sense. And then you also get a bunch of NA10 automation templates. You get access to all my live streams like this and the recordings. You get the private school community. This is where members post daily wins, ask questions, share automations, and hold each other accountable. So if you go over to the community here, you can see that we actually have these daily check-ins where we hold each other accountable, and we post like daily check-in. Everyone checks in, tells each other what they're doing, what they're working on. It's like really good motivation, kind of like an accountability group that we all share together. So that's pretty cool. And then also you get my personal AI prompts and templates library, hundreds of tested prompts for pretty much every single business situation. So content creation, client communication, research and strategy, so that you're not starting from scratch, and you also get to connect with everyone inside there. So feel free to get that, and appreciate you watching. I will see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.